The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank you for joining me today for how to prepare and excel at a job fair. If you look in your dashboard there, you're going to see a place for questions. In that block, if you could type that you can hear me, I would really appreciate it. Great. Now, if you could type in, I can see the presentation. Great. It looks like technology is working for me today. We're going to wait just a few more minutes to get started. We're going to get started about 12:03 or 12:04. Give everybody an opportunity to get the GoToMeeting program running and get in here. If you can, in the questions block, type in which event you are going to attend, whether it's Riverside, Atlanta, or any other event in the future that you are registered to attend. Awesome. It looks like we got Atlanta. We got some Pittsburgh. We got a Pittsburgh in there. We got a Detroit in there. A Nashville in there. Great. Just a couple more minutes here. Has anybody attended a Recruit Military Career Fair before? Well, looks like most people are answering no. I did have a couple yeses in there. If you answered yes, where were you? Which event did you attend? About one more minute to get started. All right, well, let's get started. I want to thank you for joining me today for how to prepare and excel at a job fair. I hope I've put together a motivational and informational webinar for you today in preparation for the job fair on Thursday. The webinar is only going to take around 30 minutes. And just a reminder, the doors open in Atlanta and Riverside at 11 a.m. local time, and the events run until 3 p.m. It's a good idea to show up just a few minutes ahead of time to find parking and get ready. Plus, a representative at the hiring event will have a few words of encouragement and direction to give, and you really don't want to miss that. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Chris Nunn, the Director of Veteran and Community Engagement with Recruit Military, and I will be your host today for this webinar. If you have any questions, there will be a time at the end for you to ask, and I'll be sure to answer them. Today, we are going to cover several topics to help you successfully navigate and officially tackle the career fair on Thursday. We will discuss preparation before the event, how to interact with recruiters, and the importance of following up. First, and you will hear me say this at least 5 more times during this webinar, once the doors open, be prepared to talk to every booth. Each booth is different, and you never know what they may have to offer. Now, for a little advice on how to tackle the career fair successfully. When we attend a career fair, you need goals. Without goals, you will find you don't have an organized attack and can't do it in an organized manner. So, to do this, we start by setting a goal. Be specific as you can. You must be specific in what you want to achieve. Make sure your goal is measurable. Ask yourself, what is it that you want to accomplish? You also need to make sure that it's achievable or attainable. Ask yourself, is it realistic? Make sure that your goal is relevant and applies to you. If your background is in logistics, expecting to be a web developer might not be in your skill set. Lastly, make sure that your goal is timely or has a completion date. We call this the setting of a SMART goal. If you skip any step, it will be difficult to stay on task and achieve the desired outcome. Now, an example of a goal. At the Riverside or Atlanta Career Fair, or for the Pittsburgh or the other people that are in here, I will visit every booth. I will walk away with 15 contacts. I will then follow the direction of those 15 contacts and secure one follow-up interview. Is it specific? Yes. Is it measurable? Yes, because you will make 15 contacts and one follow-up interview. And I set this number extremely conservative so that nobody would be disappointed. Is it achievable? Yes, I can assure you from experience that this is an absolutely achievable goal. Is it relevant? Well, you wouldn't be attending the career fair if it wasn't. And does it have a reasonable time frame? And as you're going to hear me talk further along in this webinar, your time frame is immediately during and immediately after the career fair. But I'll go into more detail about that in a few minutes. Now, without setting reasonable goals, it may be difficult to stay motivated. If you're not realistic, you're going to lose motivation really quick. In a few minutes, you're going to hear me give my elevator pitch and learn a little bit about me. However, one of many hats I wear is that of a skydive instructor. With that experience comes the ability to talk over 9,000 people to do something that's way outside their norm, and that's to get out of an airplane. And I've done this with one simple tactic: being motivated and being confident. To get people to believe in you, you have to believe in yourself and be motivated and be confident. You don't need to have a Harvard degree to be successful at a career fair, even though a Harvard degree might help for certain jobs. You just need to be motivated and to be confident. So when you're prepared and you know you're prepared, you will find that you have more confidence, and recruiters are going to sense that. So to build our confidence, we start by putting together a good resume. And there's many services out there that can help, including the one provided by Recruit Military, but that's not always necessary. There's a plethora of information out there on the internet that gives some good basic advice. In general, your resume should be no more than 2 pages. Bullet points work best, and avoid paragraphs. Break down your resume by position, including the different responsibilities or duties you had in the military, as well as different civilian jobs you've had. Remember to quantify and qualify your achievements. For example, did you make your organization more efficient by saving time, money, or any other resources? Can you estimate the savings as hours, days, dollars, or any other type of units? If so, make sure you include it. Recruiters not only like to see where you've been, but what you've accomplished. And most importantly, and this is really important, make sure you check for spelling errors. And make sure you're proud of what you've accomplished. Remember, you served your country, and that's something that we should all be proud of. Now, as I said before, preparation leads to confidence. Be prepared to tell the recruiter about yourself. You do this with an elevator pitch. The goal of an elevator pitch is to introduce yourself and your experience to potential employers, and to spark interest in further conversation. Now, there's 4 parts to an elevator pitch. Introduce yourself personally, provide a brief history of your experience, apply your experience to potential positions, and request an interview. Now, remember, your elevator pitch is a brief introduction. Don't pack all of your experience or your entire job history into those 30 seconds. Your goal is to spark interest in further dialogue. It's at that point that you can share greater detail. Be sure to use active verbs such as I led, I carried out, and I managed. Now, your experiences may be different than mine, and I expect that. However, I'm going to give you my elevator pitch so that you can hear an example. Hi, I'm Chris Nunn, and I am the Director of Veteran and Community Engagement with Recruit Military. I am an Army veteran and served as a mechanized infantryman. After the Army, I earned 2 undergrad degrees, one in web graphic design and another in multimedia design and development. I also hold a master's degree in project management from Keller Graduate School. I'm also a visiting professor at DeVry University teaching blended learning classes in Microsoft applications, business, and other management classes. When not at Recruit Military in the college classroom, I also work as a professional skydiver and pilot. I've accumulated over 4,500 hours of flight time and over 10,400 skydives, including performing in the NASCAR races and reality TV shows. My diverse experience in multiple industries qualifies me to lead a team in many different environments. So we all practice our elevator pitch, but at what point does it seem scripted or seem impersonal? In some cases, we can seem so rehearsed that we come off not genuine. On the other side of the coin, not rehearsing, we may find ourselves rambling, which can make us seem unfocused. The key is rehearse the points, rehearse the information, and remember to keep it flexible depending on the person we're speaking with. And with practice and preparation, you'll gain more confidence. Now, another way to gain confidence is to dress for success. When attending a career fair, make sure you dress for success. A first impression is a lasting impression. Employers realize that you're really not going to look better than you do for the job interview. Therefore, the rationale can be made that it's only going to go downhill from there. So if recruiters see you in jeans and a t-shirt, you're only hurting yourself. And even if you're not looking for that suit and tie type job, dressing up for the interview shows that you care and will show attention to detail. Now, if you don't own a suit, dress using dress pants and a dress shirt. For women, wear flats, business attire, neutral colors. Also for men, stay away from the purple suit. And I use that as an example because I've seen it. And while the purple suit will get you attention, I guarantee it's not the type of attention that you're looking for. And also remember, when you show up and you see that if you see that the recruiters are not dressed up, remember, they're there to recruit you, not the other way around. And lastly, in most cases, when you're dressed up, you feel good about yourself. When you feel good about yourself, the more confident you will be. So remember, dress for success. Now, another way to gain confidence is to research the different companies. Before attending the career fair, look up information on which companies will be attending the event. Get familiar with how a job fair works in general, how the booths are set up, and how recruiters talk to candidates. Remember, you will gain experience as the job fair progresses. Try to print resumes tailored to specific industries if you need to. Get to understand the companies that are going to attend because recruiters will be impressed with your research and your knowledge of their company. Now, when I say research the companies, I don't mean that you need to go out and find their annual report and look up their cash flow statement. I just mean take a glance, jot down a few notes about their products, their locations, and who they serve. That way you can carry on a conversation with them about their company. Now, as part of your goal when you attend a career fair, make sure you visit every booth. As you go employer to employer, you'll gain practice and experience talking to recruiters. By the time you finish with the last booth, you'll find that you've greatly improved your elevator pitch and learn what employers are looking for. You'll have practiced applying your experience to a variety of different jobs and fields. Also, keep an open mind. Kroger may be hiring an accountant, a defense contractor, a chef. Educational institutions may be hiring admissions counselors or military relations specialists. You just never know until you talk to the company. In December of 2015, or one of our last events of the year, I went to the Indianapolis Career Fair, and I heard a guy say, "There's just no IT jobs here. There's just no IT jobs." About 2 minutes later, I'm talking to an employer, and he's telling me, "You know, I'm the head of IT for my company, and I can't find one IT person." So I immediately went over and I grabbed that guy and I took him over to the employer and I said, "Here." And it ended up that the guy that was looking for that IT job got a job. And that's a true story because it was a financial institution and he didn't go there because he didn't believe that those people were looking for IT. He was looking for an IT company, not a company that needed IT. And that's the importance of visiting every booth because you just never know until you show up and introduce yourself what they're going to have to offer. So remember, that company is there to meet you, and they wouldn't be attending the career fair if they weren't interested. Now, when you go there, if a recruiter asks you to apply online, stay enthusiastic. If a recruiter asks you to apply online to his or her company, the recruiter is really not brushing you off. In fact, being asked to apply online is a good sign because many companies require their recruiters to gather applications electronically for several reasons. First, to obtain HR information as required by law, and second, so they can direct desirable job seekers to different departments. Asking for a resume to be emailed or for you to apply online, it's also a test from them to you in your interest in that specific opportunity. So tell the recruiter that you will comply, thank them, and then go apply. And then follow up, making sure they received it, reminding them of who you are. So how does this all come together? When you begin going booth to booth, have your resume and a notepad ready. Hand the resume to the recruiter while smiling and looking them in the eye. Introduce yourself with your elevator pitch. Then let the recruiter talk to you. Have a conversation and be sure to listen. It's easy to be eager and want to do all the talking. But remember, we learn nothing by talking, we learn by listening. Now, jot down a few notes about the conversation you're having with each one of the recruiters that you talk to. And then after being told to apply online, thank the recruiter and move to the next booth. Repeat this cycle for the duration of the event. When you get home, immediately apply for the positions you're interested in and send an email to your contact at the career fair, thanking them for taking the time to talk to you at the Riverside, the Atlanta, the Philadelphia, the Nashville career fair, and include something you wrote down specific to your conversation. This will remind them of who you are, and then they'll be watching for that online application to come across their desk. This is how you work a career fair. If you go booth to booth, treating it like a flea market, collecting the chip clips and pens, you go home with a bunch of junk and without a potential job. If you go there prepared to work and enthusiastic, you'll go home with possibilities and soon a potential job. So, for more information about the Atlanta Career Fair, visit recruitmilitary.com/Atlanta or recruitmilitary.com/Riverside. If you're here for a future event, a good rule of thumb is it's recruitmilitary.com/the city that you're in. For example, /Nashville, /Philadelphia, /Pittsburgh. So whichever event, just put the city at the end. Also, feel free to contact me at chris.nunn@recruitmilitary.com if you have any questions. Now, after the webinar is over, I'm sure some question will pop in your head. It happens all the time that, oh man, I wish I would have asked that. Well, feel free to email me and ask me. However, if you have a question at this time and you know what that question is, please ask me that question now in this forum in the questions block, because I'm pretty sure out of the 54 people that are in this room with you, that somebody probably has the same question that you do. So here's where we open it up for questions. First question, do I need to bring a copy of my DD-214? The answer to that is no. At the career fair, you're not going to be expected to present that. However, when you do your onboarding process after getting that job, they may ask for that. So be prepared to have it. Next question comes from William. Is the event primarily for recent or prior military? The events are open to veterans of all different eras. So all veterans are welcome to come. Any National Guard members and reservists also, and also spouses are welcome to the event also too. This question comes from Lonnie. Is it prudent to hand recruiters a personal business contact card? Negative. Recruiters want resumes. They want to see where you've been and what you've done. However, having a business card is not a bad idea because you can hand that business card to other veterans. And that way you can network with them to find out what worked for them, what didn't work for them. Where did they get a job or where did they not get a job? That way that networking helps guide you in what direction you need to go. This event isn't just about talking to employers. It's about networking with everybody. Next question. I am going to the Atlanta Career Fair, but plan on relocating to the Detroit area. Will the recruiters focus at Atlanta be on the jobs in the Atlanta Southeast, or will they be looking for openings throughout their companies? This comes from Kyle. We have national, regional, and local companies attend the event. So those national companies will, depending on where they have their businesses, they are recruiting nationwide. So it's a good idea to talk to them. However, I suggest, even though you're moving, to visit every booth, because that practice talking to each one of those is going to benefit you throughout the event. This next question comes from Russell. Are these for older professionals with advanced degrees, PhDs, or for mostly entry-level positions? We have jobs for just about, or the employers have jobs in all sorts of different areas. It was the Cincinnati Career Fair that I had a colonel attend this webinar. He came up and introduced himself to me at the Cincinnati event. And he was a colonel looking for a professional type job, and he had 5 offers when he walked out of there for what he was interested in. So it's a variety of different jobs and fields. This comes from April. Someone told me the government federal format resume was fine for this job fair. Is this true? Well, federal resumes are totally different, because when you format a federal resume, you're trying to make it fit into, USA jobs or something like that, where you're trying to fill the keywords of an exact job description that you find on the online application. However, on that federal resume, you're trying to fit a certain amount of keywords into it, while on a civilian resume, you need to show what you accomplished if you can. So they are a little bit different. So I would tweak that resume for the civilian type population, because these a lot of the recruiters there are civilian jobs. While there are some defense contractors and things like that, a majority of them are looking for the civilian resume. This question comes from George. Would you recommend a cover letter with the resume? No. The reason I say that is because a cover letter is usually tailored to a specific job and why you're qualified for that specific job. So if you don't know what that specific job that's available at the career fair is, how would you have anything that's just not a form letter that, wouldn't look personalized? So I wouldn't have the cover letter. Just simply have your resume handy. This question comes from Russell. Do government job representatives, USDA, CDC, etc., attend? We have Border Patrol. We have all sorts of different government entities that do attend. To find out the information on exactly which ones are registered for the event at this time, you can visit recruitmilitary.com/Atlanta or /Riverside. Next question. I have a beard. Should I shave it? Well, that's a tricky question. If it's a clean-cut beard, I would say that you're probably fine. I mean, a clean-cut goatee or clean-cut beard usually works. However, there may be that individual out there, that recruiter, that likes to see a clean-cut person. And if that person exists, then, you could be hurting yourself. I have to say that if you ask the question, you must be willing to shave it possibly, or you wouldn't ask the question. And if you've got the ZZ Top thing going on, you may want to look at what kind of possibilities you're going to get at the career fair, to be totally honest. Any other questions? This question comes from George. Are most recruiters looking for immediate hires? The answer to that is sometimes, but not always, so I don't want you to be disappointed. As I said before, the process of working the career fair is exactly what I told you, because a lot of companies, especially the larger ones, they're required by law to get those resumes and those online applications online. So with that said, work it the way that I said. If you go there and you're told to apply online, don't be disappointed. However, there are those opportunities that do immediate hire. So I hope that answers your question, even though I don't know that it directly did. Any other questions? This question comes from Lonnie. Have you noticed that the turnaround can be quite lengthy other than thank you and follow-up letters? How best to follow up? I think what you're saying is do you have to wait a long time after applying online? And the answer to that is it depends on the company. A lot of companies will turn around immediately once you apply online, send that follow-up, you get something back from the recruiters. Sometimes some companies do take a little bit of time to get back with you. Harold asks, what are the parking arrangements in Atlanta? If you visit recruitmilitary.com/Atlanta, it'll give you exactly the parking arrangements. I'd look it up and read it to you, but if I do that, I'm going to mess up my GoToMeeting screen here with you. Any other questions? Wanda asks, are there jobs available for college graduates who have not worked in a particular field of study? The answer to that is yes, absolutely. Because a college major in a lot of ways is it shows that you can complete something, because not everybody is working in their field of study. I mean, for example, I have a master's degree in project management, but I'm not working in a project management field. So absolutely, I wouldn't worry about that. You're just be proud that you graduated college and to show that. Bear with me here. I had about 6 questions come in all at the same time here. The question comes from Lonnie, or maybe it's a statement. Even after the second and third interviews, I have noticed a lack of status updates. I don't have an answer for that. It all depends on the company and the type of job that you're applying to. Russell, are reps from all over or just the area surrounding Atlanta? There's national, regional, and local companies attending, so you will have national reps that come in, for that company that go to each of the national career fairs we hold. So depending on the company that you're interviewing with, they could be all over. They could be right there local in Atlanta. I think this is a statement from Leslie. Just attended the area job fair. Certainly could have used advice. Thank you for the info. Oh, thank you, Leslie. Any other questions, or did I miss anybody? I had a lot of questions come in, so if I missed your question, just ask it again right here, and I'll be sure to get it answered. I am currently enrolled in college to attain my degree. Does it look favorable in the recruiter's eyes? Absolutely. I would put in there my school. I would put in there what my major is, and I would put an expected completion date. No recruiter will ever look down on somebody who is trying to be motivated and trying to better themselves. Question from Leslie. When is this repeated? This webinar is held live every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. Any other questions? This question comes from Harold. I am 57 years old, but look 40. Congratulations on that, by the way. Am I wasting my time going to the job fair? No. Like I said, there's a variety of different jobs and fields. Sometimes people are looking for entry level people. Sometimes people are looking for people with a little bit more experience. This job fair is open to veterans of all eras. So make sure that you attend, because you never know what a company is going to have to offer. Any other questions? Okay, going once, going twice. All right, well, it looks like we don't have any more questions. If you do come up with one after this, oops, I just had one popped in. I had two pop in. What is the rationale for companies attending? Well, the rationale is they want veterans in their companies for many reasons. Some companies get tax breaks for hiring veterans. Others are seriously patriotic, wanting veterans. Um, some companies want veterans because they've already proven themselves. They've almost, in a way, you could look at it as they've almost been pre-screened, because if the military takes them and trains them and puts money into them, that means that must mean that they're going to be a worthwhile employee, and companies like that. So that's their rationale in attending. Um, let's see. Next, it comes from Sonia. My only job experience has been military. Would that look bad for me? Well, absolutely not. They're there to hire. They're there to hire veterans. Just make sure you capitalize on your experiences and what you did in the military. If you led people, make sure that you put it in there, um, and break down. Not only recruiters don't need to hear. If you walk up and say, "I was an Army veteran and I was 11 Mike," well, that really doesn't mean anything to the civilian recruiters. So make sure that you translate that military experience into a civilian language, however, and make sure that you explain what you did, just not job titles, because they might not know what that job title fills. Um, Wanda asks, I've been out of the military for more than 10 years. Should I include my military description on my resume or not? I absolutely put in there that you are a military veteran, because some companies do give preferential treatment to veterans, and you want to take advantage of that. Leslie, I mean, do they need to make a quota of vets in their company? That may be the case with some companies, but not all of them, and maybe not even a majority of them. Next question. I'm giving you a little bit of time here, because about the last time I said going once, going twice, I had a plethora of them come in. All right, it seems there are no more questions. So again, I want to thank you for being here today. Oops, I had one pop in. My resume is also on a business card. Would you recommend giving it to a recruiter also? No, you want a properly formatted resume to hand to the recruiter. That question came from George. So anyway, be prepared, practice, and remember, dress for success. Spending the time before the career fair will greatly increase your confidence and put you a step above many that did not take the initiative. And attending this webinar is your first step in showing your dedication to finding that new job or career you've been waiting for. So make sure that you're prepared, be motivated, be confident, be excited, and you'll do great things. So I want to thank you again for being here today, and good luck on Thursday, or good luck in a week or two at the other events that you may be in here for. Thank you very much, Wanda. Thank you, William. Thank you, April. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, George. Send me an email, William, and I'll send you a copy of the slides. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Lisa. Good luck, William. Me too, Leslie. Thank you and good luck, Kyle. Yeah, Lonnie. It all depends on the different companies. The different companies, treat things just different ways, and I can't comment on every employer that we have at the career fair. Um, but all I can say is keep at it. I know it can be frustrating, but just keep at it, and eventually it'll work out. Good luck, Lonnie. I did not record the entire webinar, but I can, if you send me an email, I can send you a copy of the slides, Tommy. Thank you, Leslie, and thank you, Tommy. I want to say goodbye to everybody, and again, good luck. Thank you.